Oh, Bog, yes. You like fireballs? Yes. We got our first day fishing in fireballs, my homie. And dude, I have a story to tell you. And it's kind of a lesson that I learned many, many years ago when I made this huge mistake with my old Triton that I won in the video contest, the uploaded contest. But I'll talk to you about that in a minute. We sold freaking Spaceballs. Sadly, it's gone. It went to my good buddy, Steven Basinger bought it. He actually has a YouTube channel. If you guys want to go, you're very kissy face right now. If you guys want to go check him out, just type him in, Steven Basinger with a P-H, Stephen Basinger. Super cool dude, known him for years. He's going to absolutely love that boat.
Steve, later, homie.
Appreciate it, bud.
Oh, Spaceballs. See you later.
But yes, I popped the cherry on fireballs and caught my first fish, and it was an absolute good one.
First fish in the new boat, boys. I think it's a pretty good one, too. Not sure. Yeah, I would say it's a pretty good one. That's popping the cherry on fireballs. That is the way to do it with the big dong. You got fireballs, a big dong, and a big old freaking Gunnersville bass, dude. And he kaglobber bopped it. How about that, boys? That's how you start fishing your new boat. I think Bog agrees too. Glad you got to hang out for it, Bogster. First fish on fireballs.
So he snatched up that good one. We ended up for the day, I'll just throw it out there, we ended up having like 22 pounds. And I know guys are catching like monster bags out here, but like anytime you catch over 20, I'm absolutely stoked. Had like a 5.31, a 4.85, like a 4 and change, like just some chunkers. And we left some great freaking big ones on the table.
That's a big one. Kind of want it down on them, George. You know, usually you got to come over their heads and dance for them, show them a good time. That one absolutely cranked it right as it fell down on them. There's like 4 more of them down there. Look at them. See them all coming up. You know, hey, what happened to Jimmy right there, eh? Bog, he hashtag wanted it. Bro, look how fat that thing is, dude. Look how fat that thing is. Oh my God. That's the one we're looking for. Oh shit, that's a big one. That'll freaking close it out. Check that joker up. That's a freaking grown one, dude. He's so cold, dude, but it's pretty awesome to be on the new boat catching freaking bigs. She's got some sandpaper lips, dude. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, she's 5.31, we'll call her. So that'll put us at 21.18 for the day. Now we gotta go catch a great freaking big one. That was a freaking good bite, dude.
But here's the takeaway, and I think this is something that's really important. Sometimes the simplest things are the biggest epiphanies we have when it comes to fishing, right? And what I did is a completely different thing than what I normally do. So we went out minnow dangling, right? Everybody's been catching them on this big Sakamata shad, on some of these minnow dangles, some monster bags happening. This is the 7-inch Sakamata. That's a Descent ball head. That's a custom jig head, actually, that I get made with a 5/0 hook for these big dong dangle baits. Had some other minnow style baits, but that's actually one part of it. So what I did is, I haven't been catching them as good as everybody else, right? And it's frustrating, right? You're like, dude, I want to be better. I want to learn this. I really need to get a hold of this and break it down and figure it out for myself. So what I thought of doing, because I get so scatterbrained, I don't know about you, dude, but I'm all over the place. Oh, maybe I should throw a trap. Oh, I should throw a chatterbait. Oh, I should pick up an A-ring. Maybe that jerkbait will work. So I needed to sort of clear all of that out of my head, dude. Needed to bulldozer it all away. So what I did, and I think I'm going to do this more, and it relates to a story many years ago, dude. I went fishing out in Florida with the old uploaded boat, dude, that I won on frickin' for that video contest, the old Triton. And so I went out, drove like an hour and a half to get to the lake, right? I get up there, I get out, drive out, I'm like, I'm going to smoke them, and I open up my freaking rod locker, and Florida is like the king land of plastics, right? I literally brought none of my stuff. I forgot it all at the house. And I'm like, dude, are you freaking kidding? I drove an hour and a half for this. I don't have any, like, I don't have anything. So what I ended up doing is I had one box and it had Ben Parker Nichols mag spoons in it. Thank God I only had one box, because I went out there and smashed like 38, 39 pounds with like an 11.9, dude, in the dead of freaking summer, hot as balls, on that spoon and just fishing that spoon. And what it taught me is if you really want to learn something, you need to 1,000, 1,000,000% commit to it. And the glide bait guys know this. Like, if you talk to any hardcore glide baiter, they're like, dude, bring 2 rods, one with a glide bait and the second one with a glide bait, and go. And don't bring anything else. It's the only way you're going to learn it. And that's what I did. So basically, all of this boat is sitting at my house, in my room, and in my garage. All my Bass Mafia tackle boxes, all my gear, like everything is out of this boat. This boat's practically empty. The only thing that I brought, because I wanted to learn how to do this dangle better, is terminal tackle to do that minnow dangling, and then big old Sakamatas, maybe some dual realis, pintails, some minnows, things along those lines, the zoom winged fluke, and then the spinning rods to do it. I literally restricted all my tackles so that I could only do one thing, no matter how much I wanted to do something else. And basically that forced me to commit to this bite and really break it down, figure out the nuances, not get sort of like dragged away, trying something else. I had to figure out, how do I present this bait to get a bite? What do I need to change? Like, do I need to use a lighter jig head? Do I need to fish it faster? Do I need to use a heavier jig head and fish it faster? What do I need to do to get a bite with this one lure? Because I know 100% it's working right now. And that's exactly what I did. We ended up freaking like absolutely catching them and really dialing in this deal on the ditches, chasing bait with these fish kind of suspended around, chasing around in these bait balls. The other thing that I did, and it's along the same concept, is I did all like the setup on the boat, right? I got the graphs all set up. I set up that Garmin LV62 or 64, I always forget what it is. Set up all my Lowrances, got everything kind of tweaked the way I want it. And I never put my waypoints on this boat. Because the other thing that happens, I don't know about you, but it happens to me. I'll be driving down the lake, I'll see a little blue dot, and I'll be like, I wonder if they're there. And dude, I'll U-turn and swing over there and make a few drops, cast a few times, and check it, right? I get really like hinged on, I caught them here last year this time, like maybe they're back again, I should go check that. Get hinged on kind of history and hinged on those dots that are on your graph, right? And sometimes it really draws you away from just interpreting what's happening that day. And I can 100% tell you that the place that we fished, I've never fished it, dude. And that's where we caught the 22 pounds. I basically idled out. I looked for factors that I knew were in play, right? Looking for a bunch of bait. Looking for like ditches and like drops and things along those lines. And that's what I found. I found a combination of that structure as well as the bait. And I started fishing. I analyzed what the sort of signature for that pattern was and looked for it and found it. And I probably never would have done that if I had a bunch of blue dots to look at and I started chasing like the history books, you know what I'm saying? That combination of those two things really sort of opened my eyes to the fact that like sometimes there's too much information, right? Sometimes there's too much stuff going on. You got too much stimulus flowing into your head, and sometimes you need to sort of restrict yourself in order to kind of get past that and catch fish. It doesn't mean that a trap won't work better that day. It doesn't mean that, a jerk bait and a rig might have not caught them better that day. But I really wanted to learn and break down the old dong technique with that 7-inch Sakamata and doing that dangle and try to catch some big uns. And the only way that was going to happen is if I basically had 3 rods and they all focused on that, and I only had the terminal and the freaking soft plastics to do that technique. Not to mention not having waypoints that I could fall back on. I needed to do something fresh because I hadn't figured it out yet using the waypoints and using my history. I needed to do something fresh and new. You can apply it any way you want, but I think there's something to be said for restricting yourself in order to move forward and do something different. It kind of sounds counterintuitive, right? Like if you're restricting yourself, you don't really feel like you're moving forward and doing something new, but in a way it forces you, we all know how to fish, right? It forces you to sort of tap back into that instinct, I think a lot of guys call it, that sort of intuition. Like you know what you're doing. We all freaking watch all these videos. We spend time on the water. We have some knowledge base to go off of, and I think sometimes we negate it by just maybe taking like an easier path or going by something that we think we know or think we can trust, instead of kind of being fresh and taking a chance and being willing to fail in order to succeed at a higher level than what we've done. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was an absolutely first epic day in Fireballs. This boat is sick, dude. It's rigged up super tight. It's a little flashy, but I wanted something different. I wanted something red, and I think it's a gorgeous boat, dude. So let me know what you think about that concept. Restricting yourself to kind of grow yourself when it comes to techniques, as well as learning or relearning the lake that you fish. Drop it down in the comments box if you guys got any strategies you've used to kind of force yourself into that situation and make yourself behave, right? Make yourself actually dive in and go full send in that context, dude. I'd love to hear kind of how you approach it, because I know I'm definitely gonna do this more. I'm gonna literally take stuff out of the boat so I can't use it, in order to kind of shoot some videos, in order to learn some techniques, in order to really stay focused when I'm on the water, whether it fails or not. You know, that's the chance you got to take. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'll put links to that Sakamata and a bunch of ways that we rigged up the boat and the stuff we were using that day for the first day on Fireballs. But you will see much more of this red boat and much more of Mr. Bogg since it's winter now, because he's enjoying his prime operating temperatures. We'll catch you later though, homies.